Special broadcast.
Lars Klingbeil is whining because he's losing tax revenue from gasoline. Ralph Stegner completely loses it and then says, we have to work with the worst dictators in the world again. And I saw a report where children are working, being sent out of school. At first I was absolutely shocked, but then suddenly I thought it was great. Why? You'll find out in this video and exactly in this chronological order. That's what we're going to do now. No.
We neither started the war nor do we think it's right, and then to put oneself in danger. It's impossible to predict where that could go.
So for those who still haven't understood, let's rewind briefly. We should only clear the mines in the Strait of Hormuz and the Strait of Hormuz. Make sure that our oil tankers or other ships can pass through there, so that 1,000 people, 1,000 Germans, can be evacuated from there and brought back to Germany. That was the context. By the way, if I may ask you for just one thing, YouTube doesn't like this kind of content as much anymore and tries to restrict me every day because I'm telling you the truth. And that's why I would really appreciate a like and a subscription so we can show YouTube. But those people still exist, and people don't want to see the Greens in the lead at the next elections either, because this channel is mainly aimed at those parties that have destroyed this country. Thank you very, very much. Let's continue.
It's not something you can just do, like sending troops there or whatever. And by the way, the Germans weren't consulted beforehand, nor was anyone else, because President Trump decided that together with Netanyahu...
So, and now that's what Handelsblatt reports, and also Regional News Today. Lars Klingbeil is making a big fuss because he's losing tax revenue. He has lower tax income. Germans are not willing to go to the gas station now and fill up to visit their mother or someone like that. That would be a catastrophic loss. So under no circumstances could you roll back any taxes. Because once again, and that's very important, we've pledged 90 billion to Ukraine, which we'll only get back if Russia actually pays reparations. But since that's still a long way off, we first have to come up with the 90 billion somehow, and then see if we can provide relief for people here. By the way, that's really, really important. I don't know how you feel about it, but it still gives me a stomachache. And now comes the punch he throws in, where I really have to say seriously what's going on.
If you were to ask the population in Germany, I think it would be pretty clear that nobody wants us to get involved in wars. It's bad enough that these wars exist.
Was the population asked about the aid to Ukraine? No, because they were actually against it. Was the population asked when they now plan to introduce new tax increases? No, they weren't asked then either. Since when, please, dear Social Democratic Party, have the citizens been asked about anything? You just make decisions over people's heads, and that's what you always do. And so, to just throw out a phrase like that, well, honestly, you should get a hint for that, I'd say. My cat is causing trouble again.
There are diplomatic efforts so people can reach an understanding. The problem is you have to deal with regimes that are very, very unpleasant, but there's no way around it. It's not a solution to just intervene somewhere else.
Help me out for a moment, please. Why aren't we talking to Russia like that? Is it because they attacked someone else? So you want to talk to the worst regimes again? I think that's a fatal mistake. I still say, get out of there. Just watch. Honestly, he's starting to annoy me this morning. Just pull out and do nothing more. Just watch. That you clear the streets because of our national interests. Send people down there. Tell the Iranians if you want, yeah, listen, that's not going to work. My ships want to pass through there, but we're not doing anything else, otherwise we'll stay out of it.
Work instead of classes, colleagues instead of classmates, 4 days at school, 1 day working at the company.
When I heard it for the first time, I was shocked to the core. I was really, truly shocked. I'm self-employed, my wife is an employee, and we have 2 children. And then there are a few sentences where I say, hey, what an awesome project is this? Excuse me? They are absolutely right. And I have to tell you, within a single report from the Tagesschau, my perspective changed by 180 degrees. First, I'll give you something to get worked up about, and then listen closely to what that means for our children.
Currently, the 4+1 model here in Weissenfels means 4 days of school, 1 day of work. The Ministry of Education sees this as an opportunity to make lessons more flexible.
Now, honestly, what did you think? Why aren't the children going to school? That was the first thing I thought of. That's really the very first thing that came to my mind. Like, why don't the children have to be in school anymore? Why are they working now? What's this nonsense about? And it's actually true. Our children are supposed to learn that. But do you actually know how many days children miss nowadays because teaching positions can't be filled, or simply because there are just so many cancelled classes? We notice this as parents here, and Lower Saxony is still hardly affected by it. That's what I saw in my research this morning.
If someone is struggling with school, it doesn't help to add 5 more hours of school. Instead, you simply look for the abilities and skills that are more developed.
And then I remembered the past. Back then, I also did school internships, and I have to say, the coolest internship I did was in an office at a freight forwarding company. Unfortunately, I didn't start that, not even at my father's request, but that's beside the point. In any case, back then, even though my academic performance wasn't really good enough to get that job, I was able to get it because I did the internship. They offered me, like, hey, if you're interested, go ahead and start this position. We would be really happy about it. And yeah, wait a minute, that's right. If they work there for more than 12 weeks and the employer, for example, notices, wow, this person is really motivated, then you can overlook a lot of weaknesses. Because you know exactly that you're getting a motivated student. It's 12 weeks when all of this happens, when you don't have school.
People in Weissenfels know agency head Grit Wagner because she helped organize the Monday demonstrations during the corona period. She entered the city council as an independent candidate on the list of the Party Die Basis, and today she sits in the Unser Weissenfels und Ortsteile parliamentary group.
And now I want to ask you for just one thing. Do you know this woman? Does anyone have contact with her? I would really love to do an interview with her because what she is about to say has blown the limits in my mind as well. Where I have to say, hey, we don't have to carry everything we initially define as bad with us afterwards. Listen very carefully, responsible ones.
What happens in the end? That means we also have to give young people a perspective, give them an opportunity to find themselves again.
So, and what do you think when a student comes there for 12 weeks, does good work, really enjoys the job, and as the student has already lasted 12 weeks? In this agency, if she already gets along well with the team, she will definitely be hired. For example, if she doesn't have good math skills but needs them, yet has already done very, very good work over these 12 weeks, the boss will overlook that and say, hey, I don't care at all what degree you have. Girl, I like you, girl. I really like what you're doing, and I think you should be given a chance. Because those are the kids who will eventually clean up all the mess that our government has caused. And that's why I still get goosebumps. I'm still really shaken, but I really wanted to share this report from Tagesschau with you. I get goosebumps when I see it. How people can just look beyond their own horizons and simply do something good. And I really have to say thank you, dear Tagesschau, for having such a great report. It really touched me right from the start. And I was really furious when I watched it. So that's all I have to say about that. By the way, I'm going to take one more day off from live streaming today, so I'll be back next week. I still have a fever. Actually, just this report really blew me away this morning, and now I'm in a really good mood. I'm going to spend a bit of time in the sun today and try to recover a little more. But this time I didn't have to be sick for 2 weeks, probably because of the antibiotics I'm giving myself.